The next clinic may be your home. Imagine going to sleep in your own bed and waking up with a recording that once required a night in a clinic. Or putting on a lightweight headset at home while a clinician receives a short EEG study. That future is not theoretical anymore. But here is the safety line at the start. This does not mean every smartwatch, ring, patch, or fitness band is a medical device. FDA authorization applies to a specific product for a specific intended use in a defined population and setting. A wellness score can be useful without being a diagnosis, and a familiar-looking wearable can still sit in a very different regulatory category. So, why is home sensing accelerating now? The simplest answer is that the pieces are finally fitting together. Sensors can sit closer to the body, wireless links can move recordings, batteries can support practical sessions, and software can organize long streams of data for review. The real breakthrough is not one shiny gadget. It is the full chain from measurement to context to a qualified person who can interpret the result. The FDA's current list of medical devices that incorporate sensor-based digital health technology makes that shift visible. The agency says these devices can capture information about a person's health, including in real time outside the clinic. The list focuses on devices that are non-invasive or minimally invasive, wearable in forms such as watches, rings, patches, and bands, designed for continuous or spot check monitoring, and usable in non-clinical settings such as the home. That is a meaningful change in where health data can be collected. A traditional appointment gives a carefully controlled snapshot. Home-compatible sensing can add ordinary sleep, daily movement, and real-world routines. Neither setting is automatically better. The value comes from matching the measurement to the clinical question. The FDA list is also not a universal seal for the whole wearable market. It is not comprehensive, and the agency updates it periodically. Each entry points to a particular authorization record. That record matters because two devices can look similar on the wrist or skin while being intended to do very different things. Think of medical grade as a chain of accountability, not a styling choice. What signal is measured? How is performance evaluated? Who is meant to use it? For which patients? In what setting? What decision may it support? And what instructions, limitations, or clinician review sit around the reading? If those questions are missing, the phrase medical grade is mostly marketing language. One 2026 example is Onera SleepMap, which appears on the FDA list with a decision date of March 8th. The authorization record describes SleepMap as software that analyzes physiological signals already recorded during a sleep study with the Onera STS-I device. It can analyze at-home or in-lab recordings for adults who are prescribed a sleep study. Its intended role is to aid physicians in diagnosing sleep and respiratory-related disorders. That wording is important. SleepMap is not simply a consumer sleep score. The FDA summary says it can classify sleep stages and recognize events such as obstructive apnea, obstructive hypopnea, arousals, oxygen desaturation, and leg movements. It also says the information is subject to verification by a qualified clinician. The home may be the recording environment, but professional interpretation remains part of the system. Another 2026 example is the New Wave system, listed with a March 13th decision. Its FDA summary describes a prescription EEG system for home or outpatient use in adults and children, excluding newborns. It can acquire, transmit, display, and store EEG and optional auxiliary signals. The intended recordings are short-term, up to 2.5 hours. Again, the boundaries are part of the product. The summary says New Wave is not intended for inpatient or hospital use, not intended for newborns, not intended for recordings longer than 2.5 hours, and not a replacement for a comprehensive neurological evaluation or diagnosis. Home compatible does not mean unlimited. It means the use environment has been deliberately defined. These examples also reveal two different models of home monitoring. One model moves data collection into ordinary life, then uses software and clinician review to interpret the record. Another brings a more specialized test into the home for a prescribed, time-limited session. Both reduce dependence on a traditional room inside a clinic, but neither removes clinical workflow. For viewers, the practical question is not, does this wearable have sensors? Almost every modern wearable does. Ask instead, what is this exact product authorized or validated to do? Look for the intended use, age range, setting, prescription status, recording duration, and who is expected to review the result. Then ask what happens when the data are messy. A loose band, poor skin contact, motion, an interrupted wireless link, or wearing the device differently can affect a recording. A trustworthy system should make data quality visible and explain when a reading is incomplete. More data are not automatically better data. Also ask what action follows an alert. Does the device tell you to repeat measurement, contact a clinician, or seek urgent help? Is there a clear escalation plan? A notification without context can create anxiety. A well-designed pathway connects the signal to an appropriate next step without pretending that software knows everything. Privacy belongs in the same conversation. Home monitoring can create intimate timelines of sleep, movement, heart rhythm, or brain activity. Check who stores the data, how long it is retained, whether it is shared, and how access is controlled. Convenience should not make those questions disappear. The larger story is hopeful. Sensors are making it possible to observe health where health actually happens, during sleep, movement, recovery, and ordinary routines. That may help clinicians see patterns that a short office visit misses, and it may make selected tests easier to access. Still, the strongest home health technology is not the device that produces the most numbers. It is the system that measures the right signal, in the right person, for the right purpose, with clear limits and a responsible path to action. The next clinic may be your home. Just remember, the sensor is the front door, not the whole clinic. For more calm, evidence-aware guides to AI health tools, subscribe to AI Health and Wellness Hub. This video is general education, not personal medical advice.